All right, as I was going to wait 5 minutes, I'll just jump into it here at 4 minutes after the hour. So the session is scheduled for 1 hour, but I likely see it being a little less than that. We do have quite a bit of wiggle room available for questions and answers at the end of the session. Obviously, that can wait till the end, but if you have anything that you see and you want to ask a question about it right away, feel free to send that through the chat, and a member of my team here will be able to help out with that. So I'll just bring over my second window here, and I can share out and make sure that everybody's able to see that, and then we can dive right in here. So let me just go ahead and share out my window. All right, so ideally you'll be able to see this. If you can't, just let me know. I'll give it a few moments to make sure everybody who's on this call is able to see my screen properly. Getting thumbs up, so that's a good start. All right, so welcome to Beyond Vehicle Tracking, Geotab's asset and video ecosystem. This will be hosted by myself, Jordan Osterhold, the CSR here at Advantage One. We do also have Mark and Jesse both on the team here, both from the support side of things, able to help out with any questions you might have today. Starting this off, if you aren't aware, we're here from Advantage One, which is an elite specialized partner. Geotab actually hands out these awards very sparsely, and we've received 7 of the 8 categories at this time. So I guess you could say we kind of know what we're doing these days. It's been really good so far for us. So as you're probably well aware, Geotab's primary thing that they've always made their business from is vehicle tracking and asset telematics. But what people might not be aware of is that Geotab does a whole lot more than that these days. And hopefully I can open your eyes to what Geotab has to offer outside of the standard Go9 device that you're probably well informed about. So we're going to jump right into this, starting with another Go device. We're going to look at the Go 10 device this time. Obviously, the Go 9 has been around for many years, but the Go 10 is going to be the next iteration of that, offering a much wider range of features and data offering over top of what the Go 9 currently has. The biggest thing, in my opinion, is that this will actually have Bluetooth enabled natively. That kind of eliminates the need for that iOS Bluetooth device you might currently have for other Bluetooth offerings. And that's a very important feature, in my opinion. Other things is the integrated auxiliaries. There's 4 additional ports available here directly through this device, as well as even additional output built in for other vehicle information when you don't need the iOS slot reserved for that. Another big feature is it does have a built-in battery where all predecessors have not had that battery, meaning that when a vehicle is in a total loss situation, you might not get all the data right till the very end if the device became damaged or unplugged during that moment. Fortunately, this device does have a built-in battery, allowing for what they call a last gasp data send. So it can basically send that across. Another key with that extra battery life is that it can actually help improve data around a device being tampered with or unplugged. As you're probably aware, device unplug reports only work when the device has been plugged back in. Then it can send that data across. With the Go 10 device, it can actually go ahead and send that the moment the device has been unplugged using that internal battery. With that in mind, there are a few caveats around this device. The first one, which actually is not mentioned here, is this is obviously a different form factor, meaning that your currently deployed Go 9 devices and their harnesses, the harness cannot be used for this device. There will be an inverter that is able to be purchased that can route your standard 16-pin harness over to the new harness. But fortunately, Geotab does have a wide harness availability already built for this new device. On top of that, if you are based in California, it is not currently CARB compliant. Obviously, that is something that'll definitely come up because I know Geotab is very on it with the sustainability and CARB side of things. Also, you definitely want to verify your asset information before ordering, as unlike the Go 9 and the older devices, this is most specifically for newer assets in the current state of the production. I do see this expanding as the devices get longer and longer in development here. Also worth noting, AT&T in the US and TELUS here in Canada are the only 2 confirmed devices at launch. I do again expect that to broaden as they are more widely released. Does anybody have any questions about the Go 10 device? Like I said, feel free to ask them anytime, and the team here can help with those in the chat. Next up is the Go 10 Plus, which is the bigger and better brother of the Go 10. This currently doesn't have a release date. It is going to be coming down the pipeline as soon as possible. But the biggest thing comparing this to the Go 10 is that it has native Wi-Fi built in. Basically meaning that it can act as both a Wi-Fi hotspot, similar to how the Go 9 Pro device operates, but it also can take in a Wi-Fi signal to send data through the Wi-Fi via Starlink, which I really enjoy as well. Basically, you can install this device in your vehicle that has Starlink installed, and it can send the data through Starlink opposed to through the cell connectivity. basically really expanding the offerings of the data transfer from this device. Another thing that's really nice is that obviously with that Wi-Fi availability, you can simply go into the settings. I know it might be a little bit small here, but on the device settings, there's actually an option to enable both the hotspot as well as Wi-Fi, simply allowing you to enter an SSID and a password for your device to allow it to seamlessly connect. Also, with that in mind, it does have the smart connectivity points, meaning that it can actually connect via Wi-Fi or cell connection, depending on what the better connection time or connection point is at that given moment. Another thing I don't think is mentioned here is this actually is a little bit of a larger device even compared to the Go 10 device, simply because it does have on-edge computing, allowing it to have instant reminders and driver notifications when specific rules are being met. As you might know, the current driver feedback can be a little bit delayed as it is sending the signal directly from the device to the cloud and then back to the device to give that feedback. This all happens directly on the device, meaning you can get that feedback a little bit faster. Cameras are obviously a very large part of Geotab's ecosystem right now. As of today, there are 3 primary platforms here, with the base entry model, the GoFocus ADAS sensor. The standard most commonly purchased is the GoFocus Plus. I also have one of these in my car as well, and I've been a very big fan of it so far. And then recently released is the GoFocus Pro, which is considered the premium option. Simply because of the options built in within the camera itself, as well as what you can do with it, which obviously there are some blurbs here below, but I will go into deeper details here just right now. First off is the GoFocus base model. This is called a sensor opposed to a camera in a lot of cases, simply because of a few major factors. Number one, it actually doesn't record all the time. It's viewing all the time, and it actually only records on-demand events when a certain threshold is met. For example, tailgating, collision risk, or lane departure. And the biggest thing is this is not BC dashcam mandate required. It doesn't allow for video on demand. It doesn't have any of that legacy footage being able to be pulled from the camera directly. So that is something that's worth taking note of if you are looking for simply privacy-first recordings, collision detection, stuff like that. This is the camera for you. If you're looking to get more into the driver feedback, wider range of features, then this might not be the proper fit. The biggest thing with this is it is very cost-effective, and it's very easy to deploy to a broad number of vehicles very quickly, as the installation is extremely straightforward. Worth noting again, the installation is very straightforward for the remainder of the cameras as well. Next up is the GoFocus Plus. This is the flagship camera that Geotab is pushing the most heavily right now. We do quite a bit of business around this camera simply because it is very easy to deploy and again has a nice wide range of options built in. As you see in these images on the right here, we do have a few options for this camera. The primary one being this dual lens with both a driver-facing and a road-facing lens, but there is also just a road-facing version as well that doesn't have that lens connected at all. Additionally, this can support one additional aux camera, whether that's an in-cab camera or an external camera. In this picture here, it's actually an internal backup camera in this situation. So it looks out the back window and allows for any rear-end collision events and detection. On top of that, this camera does have the AI powered that the GoFocus base model might not have as much of, and that includes things like distracted driving events or rolling stop events. On top of that, it does allow for custom video events to be created around the camera settings. You can set up your own custom rules and apply a video recording or even snapshot based off those rules. It also has options like Smart Driver ID for facial recognition. So similar to how your iPhone operates, where it can scan your face and let you into your phone, but you might not be able to scan somebody else's face and let you into that same phone. This camera can detect faces of drivers and automatically assign their name to the driver or to the road, or sorry, to the asset, allowing for their data to be tied directly back to their asset profile. It is worth noting that these cameras can also have upgraded storage. They come with 128 gigabytes standard, which is good for about 60 hours of driving, but you can upgrade that up to 1 terabyte total. We do recommend going through Advantage One or Geotab for those SD cards, as they are pretty dependent on the quality of the SD card. The last thing we would want is you to grab a cheap SD card off of Amazon and lose a bunch of data. So it is definitely worth it to reach out to us if you are looking to expand your storage capabilities. I guess one more thing while I'm here is this camera also has the in-cab driver coaching, which is mentioned here. And basically how that works is it can detect those events live and then actually tell the driver in the cab through either a chime, it'll make a little noise through the camera itself, or even through an actual voice. It can tell you that you've been distracted driving, that you're yawning while driving, to put your cell phone down. As of now, these are canned responses, but I have heard that coming down the pipeline will be allowing you to create your own custom voice alerts as well. So I hope that comes out, because that might be fun to talk to my daughter through my camera. But I guess we'll see if that comes down. And then finally, the GoFocus Pro. This is obviously the advanced enterprise style camera, most commonly used for large assets that have multiple blind spots, waste delivery vehicles, in this case, maybe transit or large trucking, especially with trailer attached camera needs. The biggest thing for me on this camera is that it has the ability to add this in-cab monitor. This connects to your primary camera here, as well as to any of the 5 auxiliary cameras. And basically it can be used to show camera feeds, up to 4 feeds at once, including maybe a backup camera, a left and right signal camera, stuff like that. On top of that, it does have a more advanced AI data set over top of both the GoFocus base model as well as the GoFocus Plus. That includes things like pre-collision warning, traffic light detection, even license plate capturing. Basically an all-in-one camera solution for the ultimate safety of your fleet. On top of that, you can actually pair this up to 2 terabytes. It does have a dual SD card option, so you can go ahead and run up to 2 terabytes, allowing for obviously way more footage. That total footage number does obviously depend on how many camera feeds you have going back to your camera. And like I said, this can support up to 5 auxiliary cameras total, so you can really get that total 360-degree coverage of your vehicle. These only came out about a month ago, and we're having really high success with them so far. If you are interested in these, feel free to let us know, and we'd be happy to walk you through a demo with a currently deployed camera, or even just get you a pilot or something like that. Next up is unpowered asset tracking with the Go Anywhere. The Go Anywhere has been around for quite a while now, but Geotab has been increasing their offerings with the next gen, and then the next slide talks about the Go Anywhere Plus device. The next gen, the biggest thing here is it does have a much higher range of options, meaning you're able to adjust how often it pings. You can even choose a high frequency recovery mode if you want it to ping more often. It does have up to a 10-year battery life. And on top of that, it does have replaceable batteries. So you can even go ahead and replace that, which is a really nice feature, because obviously in the past, they'd basically be e-waste after the battery dies. Now, fortunately, you can replace that battery. And the big thing here is this last line, the cost of doing nothing. According to my resources here, U.S. businesses lost more than $1 billion in equipment last year, and that's year over year. So it's a lot of money being lost. And if you can spend a little bit of money on this device to protect an asset worth thousands, then I think it's totally worth it at the end of the day. Obviously, ROI is what you're looking for over top of any features. And I think the ROI behind the Go Anywhere is just a shoe-in for what you can expect. Another thing that's really nice is that these do have LED lights like all the Geotab devices, so you can easily tell the status of the device just by looking at it. And again, like other Geotab devices, this will just sit on your Geotab database, as would a Go 9 device, allowing you to easily view any information about the asset. Like I mentioned, there is a next-gen version over top of this called the Go Anywhere Plus, and this allows for a much broader options. The main one here you can see is it does actually have a powered option. So this can be a hybrid tracker, meaning it can simply be a slap and track battery powered device, or you can get these additional harnesses. In this case, this is a wired harness allowing you to power it directly through a battery and ignition source. But there's even options for like a cigarette lighter port. So you can simply plug this into a Ford F-150 while you're borrowing it for the weekend, get the information you're looking for, unplug it, and take it with you to the next vehicle. Really easy options there. On top of that, this device, similar to the Go 10 Plus, also does allow for that Starlink direct-to-cell connectivity, again, through those selected partners, both in the US and in Canada here. Meaning that, again, when you're outside of standard cell coverage, you can utilize that Starlink option to continue getting your data sent across. Another big thing is this also does have that battery replacement available for you. If you do go the wired route, like in this image here, it actually has near real-time data similar to that of a Geotab Go device. So it's really impressive there as well. And then, like I said, if it does get unplugged for any reason, the battery backup does take over and you don't lose any of that data that you're seeking. On top of that, they are extremely accurate with up to 1 meter of accuracy, which a meter is about 3 feet, if you're not aware. So it's really, really accurate when you're tracking larger assets. While this is all about larger assets, Geotab has expanded into smaller assets as well with the Link Labs. Geotab and Link Labs are now working tightly together. In fact, I believe Geotab is now the sole owner of Link Labs. I could be wrong, but I'll fact check myself at a later time. And right now they have 4 primary options. Again, the smallest would be the puck tag. Basically, think about these as an Apple AirTag kind of product. And then they go up in both offerings as well as in features. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump into those. So the LinkLab E9 tag, like I said, is a very small, about a 1 inch by 1 inch circular device that operates very similar to an AirTag, meaning that an Apple AirTag requires cell phones to get the location. The E9 puck tag requires Geotab devices and Bluetooth powers to send location. So as noted here in the worth noting section, this does require to be paired with a Go 9B and iOX Bluetooth device, a Go 10 or Go 10 Plus, Go Anywhere Plus, or the Super Tag devices, which is again a LinkLab product. How that works is these send off the Bluetooth signals, or this sends off the Bluetooth signals, which get picked up by any of these devices to then share that location. They have about 100 meters of range per Bluetooth beacon here. A key with that is that you can simply put these inside of your toolbox. You can then, within the Geotab platform, pair your toolbox to asset number 1. If asset number 1 drives away from a work site and leaves their toolkit behind, you can get an instant notification that this E9 tag was left behind, and maybe it's worth turning around and going back for it. That is the primary use for this, is tracking extremely small assets and things that obviously still cost a lot of money and things you don't want to lose. Obviously, losing lots of small things equals up to a lot of money at the end of the day. And again, these are extremely cost effective. Next up is the AirFinder Super Tag Rechargeable, which shares a lot of the similar features as the next 2 products I'll show off. But the big thing is these actually have a rechargeable battery, meaning you don't have to worry about buying additional batteries. You can simply plug them in and charge them. The big thing with that is they do have about a 3-month charge, a 3-month of usage per charge. And again, that will vary on your total number of pings you're looking to receive from this. The big thing with these and the next 2 devices is they actually use GPS, Wi-Fi, cellular data, as well as that Bluetooth option. They act as both a Bluetooth hub and the beacon itself. So they send out and receive that Bluetooth signal. Really powerful devices. I don't think I mentioned it here, but they can be used to track basic temperature. So if you are looking for indoor, outdoor temperature, you can track them with these devices as well. All of that coming through as measurements on the Geotab system. And fortunately, because this is now a Geotab product for the most part, it does simply add to your system as would a Geotab device or a Go Anywhere device, allowing them to show up on the map directly for you. Next up is the SuperTag Pro, which again shares very similar features to the rechargeable option. But the biggest thing is that this has a larger battery life, up to 3 years. And these batteries are still replaceable. I believe they take a single LinkLabs battery. Again, similar to the SD cards for the Go Focus cameras, we do recommend going directly through the provider here to get the best batteries possible. Obviously, you can probably use off-the-shelf batteries, but again, the battery life might vary, and it's definitely worth it to have your data rather than losing that. The big thing with this is primarily going to be used for shipping containers or things that might be moving more frequently. In fact, I've actually had a couple of opportunities with this, one to track drones. So people equip these to their drones and they're able to track location of their drones and total usage. And then even people have been attaching these to their e-bikes to go ahead and track where their e-bikes are and just get a basic information. I mean, e-bikes can cost like up to $15,000, and losing one is pretty easy when somebody can hop on and ride away or just take it on your truck or whatever it might be. So it's definitely nice to have options to protect them. Then finally, the SuperTag Plus is the largest offering currently from LinkLabs, and this actually has 4 batteries, which can increase the battery life by up to 4 years. I believe this has an 8-year battery life by stock standards. You can obviously increase the offerings and make the battery a little bit shorter if you're looking to get more frequent pings. But again, it does offer all the similar features, just while having a slightly larger total footprint. Still a fairly small device. It fits in kind of the size of your hand, maybe the size of a cell phone. It does have the option to just 3M tape to any small asset. If you're interested to see more, the big thing would be reaching out to your product rep. In my case, I'm the CSR here, or the CSM, I suppose. So if I'm your CSM, feel free to reach out to me about any of the products showing off today, and I'd be happy to walk you through either a live demo or a pilot and even provide you custom pricing. Obviously, a lot of this stuff comes directly from Geotab. In fact, all this comes directly from Geotab. So the chances of them running a nice promo to get the stuff cheaper than you would expect is likely there for you. On top of that, we do bundled pricing with pretty much everything showing off today. So there's a good chance you can get anything here free of charge up front with that custom term. Thank you so much for joining today. If you have any questions at all, just let me know in the chat here, and I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, we can give everybody about 35 minutes back today, which I think would be much appreciated. I'll just give everybody a few moments to answer any questions here, and then we can jump off. Have a great rest of our Wednesday. All right. Well, with that, we can go ahead and cut this off today. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. I really appreciate taking the time, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thank you.